Welcome into Fantasy AI. Moving on. Alright, welcome back to the computer room. Today we're going to look at touch leaders in the NFL. In 2023, who got the most touches? And did it lead to good scoring, right? So, let's get started here. Hey, touches. So what do we mean by touches? Those are rushing attempts. Get the ball rushing. And pass receptions. Now that's not targets, how many times they throw it to you. It's how many times you actually catch the ball. So it's rushing attempts and pass receptions equal touches. So then we take those touches, divide them by the games you played. Pretty simple. And we figure out your touches per game, right? How many touches you're getting per game on average. So then we can see here, DeAndre Swift, for instance, had 16.81 touches per game. That was ranked 16th amongst all running backs. Now we do it by position. So on his board or in his thing, you might see that it says touch rank 16th. Well, that means he was the 16th among running backs with the amount of touches. All right, we got that pretty well figured out. Let's move on. As the Fantasy AI fans, subscribers look on, players come from the Fantasy AI data center. Welcome aboard Frank A, Rex or SRK, and Dave Kerr. Welcome aboard. All right, we're going to start here, and we're going to look at my new screen here. All right, in the center column, you'll see I've got 60 of the running backs loaded. This is under consensus rankings. This is my new editor screen. I'll be able to edit some players. Hey, let's look at a couple here. Start off, let's look at Gibbs from Detroit. And how about Robinson from Atlanta? So if I was going to rank them, I'd have my stats here and I could move them up and down my rankings. But here you can see up there by the health. You see the health. Ooh, you got Gibbs still questionable. I don't know. I've checked his injury, but it says the touch rank his 27th last year, Gibbs. You can see over here, Bijan Robinson was 24th. Well, that's what everyone's crying about. Him being 24th, Bijan Robinson. Well, they want him closer to the top 10 in touches, right? And that's what new coaches are promising to do this year. So it's interesting just to see a couple of these that aren't in the top 10. A couple interesting ones here. You might look at the Miami one, right? We're complaining about there being too many mouths to feed there. Well, you can see here that A-Chain got 42, ranked 42nd among touches of the running backs. And Raheem Mostert, 28. So, I mean, those were the top two there. And you can see that sharing, 28th was the best there. And some other ones we're going to look at is maybe the Pittsburgh situation going on, right? Got Warren and Najee Harris. Looks like Warren's currently ranked 34th here. And Najee, 22nd. But you can see that their touches. Now, Warren, or Najee's is a little closer to his fantasy finish there, 17th. But you can see 40th for Warren. So you can kind of compare who's getting the touches, and you see some of those. So let's get started with some honorable mentions just outside the top 10. We've got Montgomery and Swift come in. David Montgomery comes in with the 15th in touches. So you can see here that he finished 10th in fantasy. That's pretty productive with only the 15th. He finished 10th. And you can see Swift, on the other hand, over here, got the 16th most touches. But he finished 23rd, right? So not as efficient. Now, you can take that down to a per-game average, too. We'll probably do that sometime to find out who was the most efficient. But there was two that finished just outside. You can see here's another one. Pacheco and Brees Hall knocking on that top 10 door with 13th for Pacheco in touches. That's pretty good. You can see he only played 14 games, right? But this is based on average. So remember, we took it to the average of games played. So it does take into account how many games they played. And touch rank for Brees Hall was 14th. So you can see that right now they've currently got him ranked second. Well, does the touch rank of 14th really go along with being ranked second? Last year it powered him to 7th, with that. But he doesn't make it into the top 10. And we got a couple more just outside. We've got Tony Pollard coming in with the 12th most. And James Conner with the 11th. So they're getting some touches here. James Conner finished 15th. You can see he got the 11th most touches. And Tony Pollard with the 12th. Finished ranked 18th. Didn't do as much with his touches as some of the others. So those were two of the ones just outside of the top 10. So let's move on and look at it to the top 10. So let's go into the top 10 running backs by touches per game. First off at number 10 is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry comes in with 18.1 touches per game. All right, put him 10th. He's ranked 9th for rushing. He's second in rushing despite a bad offensive line. Led at the NFL in carries with 280. Now that's carries. That isn't total touches. He doesn't receive the ball as much. All right. So you can see now he's going to be with Lamar Jackson. Well, the Tennessee's team carries were 444, where you can see Baltimore's is 541. So might get a little upgrade there, but hey, we know Lamar Jackson takes it all. There's what he scored last year. Everybody likes Derrick Henry for this year. Looking at the clipboard, you can see the number one team in rushing. All right, teaming him up with Lamar Jackson. See what they do this year. Now, there is no real competition behind Derrick Henry. Justice Hill, a lot of people have Keaton Mitchell higher than him. But, hey, with him, you got to show me that you're healthy, He's on schedule from an AC tear, but it was late in the year last year. So early on anyway, it's all, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. But anyway, Derrick Henry comes in with the 10th most. Moving up the list, Joe Mixon comes in with the 9th most touches at 18.2 a game last year. Now that's with Cincinnati, right? Houston traded for him, gave the 7th round pick to get Joe Mixon. I'm sure that was all to do with contract. He got a new 3-year, $25 million contract to come play in Houston. Well, you can see here I also put on their team attempts. You thought Cincinnati, they had ran the ball 383 times. Well, Houston ran the ball more. 444, almost 60 more attempts to go around on that team, right? Even though they were the 22nd in rushing. I thought they were going to be, they were kind of pass happy with C.J. Stroud last year. But, hey, 22nd team in rushing, maybe that improves a little bit with Joe Mixon here. I don't like the 29th schedule. That's what we don't like. And got Dameon Pierce on the team. Maybe he'll make a little bit better showing this year. But we really think when we're thinking Houston, we're going to be thinking what's driving Houston is C.J. Stroud, right? And Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. That's what they're set up for. But maybe there will be a few more touchdowns to go around for the team. Can you get better than Team 12? Well, quarterback schedule's not friendly, and the wide receiver's not friendly, and neither's the running back schedule. Just bad schedules to go around. So maybe a down year for Houston. We'll have to see. Moving on, Jonathan Taylor comes in next at 8th on the list with 18.8. All right, so hey, Indy's returning all 5 starting offensive linemen on a good offensive line to begin with, right? And let's not forget, he led the league in rushing a few years back, 2 years ago. Now, you saw that he didn't start early on last year, and they kind of eased him in the game. I had him in one league. I was kind of upset they were slow walking him, getting him in there. Zach Moss taking all the action. But eventually they got him in there, and you can see that 13.74 average. Just a great average. Played in 10 games. Well, they got nothing behind him. Even Evan Hull. I guess Trey Sermon might be the... not sure which one they're ranking behind him. But nobody. Hey, you can look over the clipboard. You can see the team offense was 15th. That's with Anthony Richardson going out. You know, I thought they did very good on offensive coordinator. Did good. Minshew took over. They had a pretty good team. You know, now they got Anthony Richardson in there. You can see the did great though. 16.4. Whew. Has a 6th schedule. The receivers over here have an easy schedule. You can see 7th easy schedule for Pittman, Downs, Mitchell, that Pierce. They still got some good receivers set up good for next year, this team. On passing, unfortunately for Jonathan Taylor in the running game, they have the 30th schedule. But with that good offensive line, Richardson trying to keep him honest, I think he'll have a good year, Jonathan Taylor. So he came in with the 8th most last year. Might even move up. Who knows? All right, moving on. Travis Etienne Jr. comes in at number 7 with 19.1 touches. Woo. Now we're getting up there. Team carries for Jacksonville was 453. That's middle of the road, so they were running the ball some. You can see in 2022, Etienne had 60% of the rushing touches, running back touches, right? Well, after that year, before the 2023 season, they said, hey, we got to reduce the pounding he's taking. You know, get Tank in the game more was what the plan was. Well, they expanded that total to 76% in 2023. So they expanded his role even more. Now, the same talk in 2024 is preseason, is they're going to get Tank the ball more and going to cut down on ETN. It's hard to go up from 76%. So, you know, you might think, hey, the only way is to go down a little bit in those touches. But you can see there how he did last year. You know, had some explosive games, especially in first weeks. Very good. So, coming on over to the team clipboard, we see they were 24th in rushing. All right, so kind of struggled with the rushing. You know, you can see there. And you can see that it's not going to get any better this year. They got the 31 schedule. Not very good. But it's Tank Bigsby, who did nothing last year, ready to come on and actually take some of those carries, right? We got to see it. Otherwise, they're just going to they can talk about it in preseason, but if they're just going to line ETN up for another 76% of the carries, you know, see how it does. Some changes at wide receiver on this team. Christian Kirk back to number 1, possibly. You know, Ridley's gone. Got a new hot rookie coming in. And Gabe Davis lurking. So they got some playmakers here. Can they all stay healthy? But we really were lacking in the number 2. You know, if things go bad with Bigsby here, this Dearness Johnson really showed some stuff a few times. He got a chance in, was it Cleveland? So, moving on. Let's go back to the next up is Alvin Kamara. Are we forgetting about him? He's ranked 18th. Came in 6th with 19.6 touches a game. Now, he's entering his 8th season. He's been selected to 5 Pro Bowls in those 8 years. 7 years. Because this is going to be his 8th. So 5 out of 7 he's been to the Pro Bowl. No one's doubting his talent. But he's never rushed for 1,000 yards yet. A lot of that's coming on receiving with him. Got a new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. Has a desire to run the ball. So they're thinking, hey, we're going to get Alvin Kamara to 1,000 yards this year. If he's around. You can see here he left minicamp with a little contract dispute. Left early. So we're going to find out, is he going to come in? There's his games. Remember, he got off to a slow start because he didn't start those first 3. Came on there. 12.2. It's not bad. And you can see the team rushing 21st last year on the clipboard. But, hey, things might turn around this year. Got the new offensive coordinator. Got a 9th schedule. for running backs. That's pretty good. And when you look, well, you got this Miller. I guess they've got him 54th ranked. You see what he did? Came on at the very end of the year with one game, filled in. I think he was hurt a lot of that. And, you know, I saw something talk about disappear. Remember Jamal Williams here just did nothing last year. So, I mean, they've got a bench. Now, Kamara, they got some good, just Chris Olave over here. Can't believe Shaheed's ranked 51st. So, anyway, looking over New Orleans there. Hey, Kamara, maybe we're letting him slide down too much here. He does have the 9th. You know, but he did finish 24th, but that's going to be a slow start because of those 3 games missed. Right on par, I guess. Moving on. Ooh, Rashard White comes in at number 5, right? 19.8 touches. He's ranked 16th totally, but yet came in with 5th most touches from last year. All right, well, let's look into some of that. This might be the reason. Year 1, he had 481 yards rushing. Next year, he got close to that 1,000. His second year, he had 990 yards rushing, right? Well, the little cooked into that is a first year 3.7 yards per carry, which isn't good. 4 is average. And last year, 3.6 yards per carry. So tough sledding to get that 990. Now, the Bucks, maybe to address that, did draft Bucky Irvin in the 4th round, right? And first round pick, they did take Graham Barton, a guard from Duke. He's probably going to play center, replace Jensen, who retired. But so, hey, look at those games are solid. What kept, obviously, Rashard line on this list, and 549 yards receiving. All those touches from the receiving game. He can get that rushing turned on. You know, they got a new guard in to help. Part of that problem was the center, although we saw that the rushing the year before wasn't that great either. So there is that Bucky Irvin coming in. Currently ranked 53rd. So other people. But hey, you know what might help here is Rashard White in that 8th easy schedule. All right. That's looking pretty good. Mike Evans comes back. Big target there. Got to watch out for him. Chris Godwin. Got a pretty good team. So, hey, the good news over on the clipboard, this 32nd in rushing. Well, no place to go but up. Can't go down, right? So, Rashard White coming in, ranked 16th, you know, finished 8th. Seems fair, you know, if you get stuck with him, if he's dropping down, hey, I would take him. If he's dropping down the ranking, 16th. That's a little rich maybe, but hey, if he's a bargain on my list still, I'd take him. Moving on. Barkley comes in at number 4 with 20.6 touches average a game. Right? Well, that, of course, that was with the Giants. Now, he's been traded to Philadelphia. Was the 2nd overall pick. Has the new 2nd-ranked offensive line. What an upgrade from the Giants. Right? Easy number 2 schedule. Kellen Moore's offense wants to get him the ball a lot. See what he did with it when he was in at 13.3, one of the top averages. Now he's on a good team with a number 2 easy schedule. And did I mention that number 2 or that number ranked 8th offense has people like Jalen Hurts, right? You can't forget about him. A.J. Brown over here in the passing game. The thin reaper, Devontae Smith. I mean, so the point is they just can't stack the line against Barkley here. Too much others going on. And a good offensive line and a good schedule. Just love Barkley this year. And touches seems right. He'll probably finish there 4th, 5th, 3rd on the touches again next year. But came in 4th last year on touches. Josh Jacobs. Excuse me. Let's not forget about him coming in 3rd with touches. Now, that's with the Raiders. But you got to expect to get some touches next year with Green Bay. 2022, we're not that far removed. He led the NFL in rushing. Right? You can see the Vegas. Hey, they do. One thing about Vegas, they do give touches to their lead back. And Green Bay did too. Likely face fewer loaded boxes. Got that big money. Now, my story on that big money is that's all up front. It isn't like, oh, let's save him over this 4-year deal we've got with him. No, there's $12 million signing bonus in that, and there's no guaranteed money after that. So we're thinking year 1, 2, year 3, they could cut him if they overuse him, right? So just hopefully they won't overuse it. Or hopefully they do overuse him, right? Get him going that first year because, hey, Marshawn Lloyd making some noise here, ranked 50th, all right? So you're a little worried about him trying to come in here and steal? Well, I'm not, because I think that he's got 4-year contract. They got him for a while, and Josh Jacobs, even though he has a 4-year deal, I think they're going to run the heck out of him, and he's going to just be right back here on that list again next year, probably top 5. All right, on that. With Green Bay and an improved offense, everything looking up there. Moving on. Imagine that. Christian McCaffrey isn't number 1 at something. Comes in number 2 with the touches. He had number 1 pick, though. Probably going to be Offensive Player of the Year last year. Got married. Averaged 21.2 touches per game. Whew. Just getting all those touches. All right. And what's changed there? Not much. Got the 17th ranked schedule for next year. Got the most important is they got the number 2 team offense. Look at that balance: 4 and 3, 3 in rushing. Expect the same. His touches. I mean, you got Mitchell here as the backup. If he could stay healthy all year, he's currently going 51st. But obviously, Christian McCaffrey probably will be in tops and touches again. He gets that, look at that, 564 yards receiving. A lot of those touches get him the ball, right? 564 in receiving, great rushing. He's going to get the ball again. And moving on. But he did finish number 2 in something. In touches. And everyone, can you guess who the number 1 is? Kyren Williams comes in with a 21.7 touches per game average while he was in there. All right, he has the little small foot thing. Here's the biggest story in preseason. We want to come out and see if that develops anything. Do they use him in preseason? Hey, if they say, oh, we're going to hold him out and just keep him safe in preseason, we don't see much of him, that makes me worried. If he plays at least that first preseason game, gets out there and does something and shows me in training camp everything's going good, he'll be going up the ranks. And if Blake Corum pulls a little hammy in preseason or something, he'd even shoot up higher on that rank. But, of course, Blake Corum, a little worried about him. All right, he comes in, one of the best 45 touchdowns in 2 seasons at Michigan, 2,700 yards. Just coming in top running back out of the draft this year. So he'll be behind Williams, obviously, and they're going to work him in. But it just got to see. Is Williams fully healthy? But look at all those touches he got last year. All right, 21.7. So main thing with him is got to watch that preseason and see what happens. All right. So, if you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that like and subscribe button. Even if you're not, don't hit that like and subscribe. All right. All right, this is where I like to fill my shorts. Gonna fill my shorts. Warning, this is a rapid repeat. FantasyAI looking at the touching leaders from last year. Derrick Henry came in 10th, 18.1. New team with Baltimore, though. Joe Mixon's got a new team coming in with Houston. Finished 9th with 18.2. Jonathan Taylor came in 8th with 18.8. Good offensive line there. Travis Etienne comes in with 19.1 touches. Came in 7th. Kamara, always touching the ball, came in 6th with 19.6. Ranked 18th currently. Let's not overlook him. Rashard White here, ranked 16th. Came in 5th in touches. All those receptions last year. Barkley has a new team in Philadelphia. Came in with 20.6. It's a number 4 on the list. Josh Jacobs has a new team. Green Bay, new improved offense there for him. Hey, 20.8 touches last year. Got him third. Christian McCaffrey finished second at something in touches. But he's still number one running back, right? He finished second to Kyren Williams with the top. Was number one in touches. Can he keep it?